Good evening, everybody. What's up? This is the one and only African superstar, Gina Ifowe, back on the track. Hello, family. Good to see you again. I wanted to bring an unpopular opinion, something that I'm literally on my way to bed. And this thought came up, and I just wanted to talk about it on the channel. It's actually been popping up throughout the day, and I was very busy, so I took a little time out to bring it to you guys. Please, when you come into the channel, be on code. Make sure you like the stream. We are currently demonetized, so if you want to support, you will have to do that outside of YouTube, either via Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. Or if you are here in Ghana and want to remit Momo, just let me know and I'll get you the account number. Yes. Big shout out to the African superstar family in the building. Special shout outs to my tour partner, Mr. Taye Ehuru and Ajike. As you guys know, we completed my maiden tour last week, the Welcome to Ghana tour, and Ajike came in from St. Louis to visit us. I do just want to let you guys know our next upcoming tour, our Welcome to Ghana Part 2, is October 21st through the 27th, and we would love to see some of the African superstar come in and visit Ghana for the first time under our care. Going to be an amazing trip. You also get complimentary kente cloth. You get a Welcome to Ghana concert. I know there's a lot of tour options when it comes to Ghana, but I can tell you definitively ain't none of them giving you a welcome concert or a complimentary kente. Holla. Never seen it done. Now, they start doing it after this. You know who started it first. Yes. Big shout out to the African superstar family. Hi, guys. Yes. Let's be on code. Make sure we like the stream. And I'm going to get into this topic. I'm not going to be before you guys long. Like I said, I'm off to bed, off to see the wizard, but I didn't want to lose this thought. Today's topic is don't listen to their sob stories. You have to save yourself first. Now, I know that recently there's been a lot of things happening in various locations on the continent. Everybody's talking about, the mysterious deaths in Gambia. There's also a situation that I recently seen a video of, a diasporian man here who's into property development. And he's been having some issues with the police in his area and, so on and so forth. There's a viral video going on about that. And one thing that's very common, and I have to tell you guys as a leader, as a pioneer, as someone who literally innovates new things and new ways of doing things, it's very common that when you decide to do those things, you're going to immediately face backlash from either people that are not in position to do what you do. I mean, those people right there are so dangerous. Those are the people that don't have the money to do what you want to do. They don't have the education to do what you want to do. They don't have a passport to travel. They don't have the tenacity, because obviously it takes tenacity. It takes our mission statement, strategy, maturity, and patience to effectively get anything done. And usually the people that lack whatever it is that you have, okay, they are going to be the number one vocal person in your life trying to advise you, trying to deter you, and so on and so forth. Like I said, these things are happening in Africa, and I'm not going to negate them. But if you look in the comments, there's literally probably by now hundreds of comments of people, I don't know about going to Africa. These situations going on are so discouraging. I think I'm just going to stay here in America. 5 people have died in the Gambia, and I don't feel that it's safe. And listen, what they might as well be saying is, I didn't have any intention of going to Africa in the first place. And I'm going to actually use these scenarios as grounds about why I'm not going to ever do what I had no intention of doing in the first place. Hello. Big shout outs, guys. How many we got in here? 8. All right. First trivia question. Guys, please be interactive. Please be interactive. How many of you guys have really wanted something or someone in the past, and you faced obstacles? You didn't have money. The person wasn't paying you any attention. The list goes on. But guess what? You really wanted it. So you kept going. If that has ever been the case for you, let me see a number one. Big shout outs to the African Superstar family. I'll start with the shout outs in just a minute. If you've ever really wanted something, okay, and you ran up against some obstacles. I know I'll use my little sister as an example. My little sister had to take her driver's test 3 good times before she got her license. I think she was failing with the backing in, you know, like she was failing with the backing in. And coincidentally, my mom also wasn't letting her use the car to get her practice hours and things like that. So it was really frustrating for my sister. However, she did not give up. She kept fighting back against that. There's some of you guys, you wanted the girl, you wanted the guy. You know, the first time you asked her out, she said no. Okay, you were trying to flirt with him in class, flirt with him in, you know, the basketball team, whatever. You were a cheerleader. He was a basketball star. He didn't get the picture. You didn't give up because you wanted that guy. Let me tell you something. These detractors that highlight every potential terrible failure outcome when it comes to you doing what you need to do, these people had no real intention of doing anything at all. And because they had no intention of doing anything at all, they want the camaraderie of having you join them doing nothing at all. Okay, these are also the same people that when you decide to do something on your individual path, which has nothing to do with them, they take so much offense to that because they really want you to be in it with them, losing in life. The moral of this story is, guys, don't get caught up in it. Don't get caught up in the distractions that people are trying to set for you. Let me tell you, let me be the first one to tell you that the situation that's happening in the West is dire. All right? It's not going to improve. It's only going to get worse. If you have the wherewithal to recognize that and you're willing to, you know, explore other options, you're considering traveling, you're considering perhaps migrating or whatever, do not let people that are going to go down on the ship. How many of you guys saw Titanic? You guys remember Titanic? It was, you know, epic movie out. If you saw Titanic, let me see a number 2. There's a scene in the Titanic movie where the band that was on the ship, okay, they decided to stay on the ship and play music until the ship went down underwater. Okay, there are millions of people like that. Millions of people, they're not going to listen until it's too late. Okay, they're not going to start trying to gather themselves and think about an exit strategy, a plan B. They're not going to be proactive. They're not going to travel, you know, internationally, go to Africa. They're not going to do any of that stuff as we warn them, as the red flags are blaring, waving. They're not going to do any of that. You've got to save yourself first. Count yourself one of the lucky ones if you see what's going on. Trust me. Because those of us that see what's going on are few and far between. Those of us that see what's going on and then are ready to make an action are even fewer. This means that when you're busy having conversation with the average person at the coffee shop or on the train or at your workplace, 9 times out of 10, I mean, I'm going to give you a high figure, probably 8 to 9 times out of 10, these people are going to be completely oblivious about what's going on. You got to think about what leads to that oblivion. Okay, the education leads to that oblivion. Religion leads to that oblivion. Media leads to that oblivion. Media is sitting there telling everybody, hey, it's all good. It's all right. Don't be scared. You know, things are happening around you. You don't even know. Like I told you guys about the chemical spill that happened last year in Ohio, about 200 miles from my hometown in Columbus. I was calling my friends all the way here from Ghana, informing people in Columbus, and they were telling me they hadn't seen anything about it on the news. They hadn't heard anything about it at all. How can I, all the way here in Ghana, hear about this massive chemical spill that's gone into the river, potentially, definitely affecting the drinking water, and people in the state where it's taking place are unaware? The media is lying to you guys. Things are even much worse than they seem. And we have our problems here on the continent, but I can assure you, it's nothing like what you guys are in for in those situations out there, okay? Don't listen to the detractors. This is literally survival of the fittest. I believe in survival of the fittest. I believe that people that are not fit will not survive. You know, I believe that people that can't critically think, they won't survive. When confronted with a life-threatening situation, they won't even know how to respond. They might be so far in la-la land, they can't see that their life is threatened. You know, I know there's some true crime fans out there, like myself, watch a lot of these crime shows and stuff like that. There's a lot of domestic violence that happens in these situations, all right? Usually when these things have happened, you know, every now and then there might be an isolated case, but a lot of times there's a lot of patterns. There is pre-activity that goes on leading up to when a situation gets fatal. But guess what? A lot of times the people that are in domestic violence situations can't even recognize the level of danger that they are in and how serious it is for them to deal with that situation, maybe get away from that situation, be drastic. I was telling my girlfriend Nicola probably a couple months ago, I said, in this day and age, somebody's making threats to me, somebody's stalking me, I'm leaving the state. I mean, I'm going to leave the state. I might leave the country. I'm not going to sit around to see how serious this individual is about their weirdo behavior, because I've seen it too many times. And I'm a firm believer that it's better to be safe than sorry. There's a lot of people that are claiming they're not going to entertain Africa because of this and that and this and that. Well, listen, guys, the things that are happening on a daily basis where you live, way more heinous than anything happening over here on the continent. You know, frequency can't even be compared. Out of a super vast continent with 54 different countries, there's no country here in Africa like America. There's no country here like the UK. Stabbings every day in the UK. Shootings every day in Canada. Shootings every day in America. You know, all kind of weird stuff going on throughout Europe. You know, mass shootings and kidnappings and all these kind of super heinous things. Let's talk about the chemically modified foods. That one is a more silent killer. You need food. Most of you guys going to eat every day. And every day you're having that slow poison. Okay? One day you wake up, cancer. One day you wake up, aneurysm. One day you wake up with obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes. No history in your family. You don't know where it came from. It's coming from the food. Don't get caught up in their sob stories. They're busy telling you what they would never do. They can't do it. They would never do it. They don't have the heart. They don't have the resources to do it. That's why they tell you they can't, they would never, because they can't. Some of these people in the comments are felons. They can't even get passports to travel. Huh? They got back child support. Okay? Back, forth, and forth. They got back child support. They can't even leave the country. Yet, you potentially might be influenced by these people. I just want to warn you. You know, that's what I'm here to do. I got to speak truth to power. Very few people out here willing to speak truth to power. I never let people that were not my caliber advise me, and I still don't. You know, if a person's life is not giving what it should be, in my opinion, I'm not listening to that person about what I should and shouldn't do. No. And some of you guys will be like, well, maybe they tried and failed. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not a failure person. I'm a success person. I'm a winner. I want to know what you did to win, not what you did that brought you failure. No, I don't want to know that. Okay, I've had my own failures. I could figure out how to fail on my own, without taking your advice that's going to lead me to failure. You want to tell me you're not coming to Africa. Have you been to Africa? Have you even traveled outside the country? Why the hell would I listen to you telling me what your opinions about Africa? Now tell me, I lived in Ghana for 10 years. I lived in Kenya. I've traveled all 54 countries. I have a home in Uganda. And then I might perk up because you're coming from a position of advice. But the irony is the people that are doing those things are rather encouraging me to continue on my path, not discouraging me. I have never met a diasporan living here on the continent who says to me, Gina, it's a mistake for you to be here. You need to pack up your bags and get back over there. Most of the conversation that we diasporans have here in Africa is, I wish I did it sooner. I wish I did this. I wish I did that. All my friends that are here on the continent are busy with their endeavors, trying to figure out how they're going to do this and do that and pull it all together and blah, blah, blah. They're not talking like these nobody people in the comments. And I know how influential these nobody people are. I know how influential they are. Nobody people have some of the most similar characteristics. They're usually very charismatic. Okay, very opinionated, and they will openly just, give you their opinions on life and so on and so forth. And a lot of time with charismatic people, there's not a track record to follow their charisma. All that they have to follow their charisma is fantasy a lot of times. And I just don't want those of you guys that are actually in a position to do something to be discouraged by these nobody people that were never going to do anything, that are not in position to do anything, that don't have the means to do anything, and they're going to be talking because that's all they do. Save yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Position yourself well. Then, if you so choose, you can become a resource to other people. All right? But you have got to position yourself first. In regards to this migration piece, okay, if you intend to be getting out of the West, that should be taking all of your energy, all of your focus, all of your resources right now. Stuff is getting worse and worse and worse and worse in America, I'm telling you. And as more Americans and British and Canadians and Australians are trying to leave those environments and go elsewhere, you better believe that it's just a matter of time before your friendly governments are going to start putting a monkey wrench in your plans. Yes. It's just a matter of time. They're not about to let us all just jump up and go to freedom. Nah, they're not. They don't want us to have a place of refuge. They don't want us to have the ability to change our class and live a more robust life. No, they want us to do the slave labor that keeps the few rich. That's what they want. All right. And so it's not in their best interest for us to be living abroad, taking our, dollars and pounds and euros and going and living in third world countries, moving to Asia, moving to Latin America, moving to Africa, having a better quality of life. That was never in the game, guys. If that was the game plan, they would have told us about it a long time ago. But what did they tell us to do? Go to school, get higher education, and then get the American dream, essentially ladening us with debt and anchoring us to the West. So you better believe that's the next mode of action. All right. When it happens, I'm not going to come and tell you guys I told you so. But I'm telling you now, I told you so, because I can see the future. All right. I know where it's coming. if you guys don't. It's that imperative. It's that time sensitive that, you know, if these are your plans, that you get on board. The other reason you want to get on board, like I talked about the other day, is because what's happening here in Ghana is, if you're not trying to get your footing now, the cost of living is going up here in Africa. You know, right now we can enjoy, okay, the fact that when we bring our foreign currency, it gives us multiple of the local currency, and it gives us the ability to afford things that we couldn't even afford where we're coming from. Well, what's going to happen is, does anybody know what gentrification is? Huh? Third trivia question. Does anybody know what gentrification is? I'm looking for the answer, then I'm going to start shout outs. Big shout outs to you guys. Big shout outs to you guys. Does anybody know what gentrification is? We have 18 of you guys. God, Lord have mercy. I know I got some college educated folks. Does anybody know what gentrification is? Please, please, please don't put me to shame, guys. I feel like I'm talking to adults. I feel like I'm talking to the intellectual crowd. Big shout outs to you guys. All right, we got a couple people that know what gentrification is. Okay, gentrification is when there may be a low income or urban or a dilapidated community, things like that, where the property values have gone quite low in that area because there's really not a lot of amenities. Maybe the area is crime ridden or whatever. Okay. The people, the investors that have money come into the neighborhood, buy up these properties dirt cheap or whatever, renovate, make the neighborhood really nice, bring businesses, put in landscaping, put a little park, all kind of amenities, all right? Which obviously increases the property value. And then what do? Turn around and either price you out or start renting to you. That's gentrification. And I hate to say it, but it's a land grab here in Ghana, at least. I can't say what's happening all over African nations, but I know one thing's for sure. Wherever the diaspora is heading to in mass on this continent, our YT counterparts are following us to see what's going on. Okay? And because they don't want us to have freedom, they don't want us to utilize our foreign currencies, live better current quality of life, establish generational wealth, own properties, you know, get assets and all of that. They are coming to upstage us, potentially gentrify these communities. All right, come with their big dollars, pounds, buy up everything, put in businesses, put in properties, and they're going to turn the people here in Africa to tenants. We've seen it happen so many times, guys. You should be able to pretty much project the future. These white people, this is how they roll. This is what they do. This is what they've been doing for centuries. We got the blueprint, so why are you guys fooling around? And it's just so critical because guess what? If we lose the foothold here in Africa, there's no place we can run to. It's over. All right? We're facing racism and discrimination and violence and everything, everywhere else that we want to go in the rest of the world. This is the only place we have the luxury of being a part of the majority currently. A place that we're welcome currently. And a place where the potential abounds currently. It's very serious. And I just had to come and bring this message because I know that some of you guys are going to be influenced by the nobodies. And the irony is if that nobody maybe got an opportunity to take advantage, they probably would, and they would probably leave you. After you was listening to them, you was thinking, oh my gosh, Keisha, I thought you said you would never do this and you never do that. Keisha, meanwhile, she got the first thing smoking when her opportunity came through. I know some of y'all have been in situations like that. You gave like your best friend the benefit of the doubt. You gave your man the benefit of the doubt. You gave your woman the benefit of the doubt. When they was tired of you, when they had got everything out of you that they wanted, or you were no longer valuable to them, they just kicked you to the curb. Now, meanwhile, you hung in there. But That's not how these folks roll. So I just want to tell you, it's not selfish for you to prioritize your own safety, your own well-being. It's better for you to get started than to miss out. I'm trying to tell you guys. All right. I'm trying to tell you guys, as more and more people try to exit the West and make new lives for themselves in the international community, especially here in Africa, as it pertains to us, Black people, because you know they're obsessed with every little thing that we do. This is just, so important. All right, let me get into the comments. I see there's several. Big shout outs to everybody who's been a part of the conversation so far, everybody who's been answering the trivia questions. Yes, if you're happy to see the African superstar, I've been trying to come a little bit more. Make sure you show some love. Like the stream, practice SMP, our mission statement, strategy, maturity, and patience. Be a part of the conversation. You can support the platform outside of YouTube. We're currently demonetized. So that's how you can show love and appreciation for your African superstar. Big shout outs to Shoshana. She's in the building. What's up, Nori? I see you there. It's what I do every day. I just can't help it. Big shout outs to you guys. Yes. Shoshana says, I graduated university after 6 long years and 3 different majors. What's up, King Simon the 4th? Okay. Hit me with the Roman numerals. Big shout outs to you. Yes, yes, yes. What's up, Sick Lion? I see you there so much. King says, don't forget about your family. They will also hold you back. It's unfortunate truth. Sometimes your family members, you know, they really struggle with you growing up, you maturing, you know, evolving into a new individual. You know, some of us have gone from, you know, very religious people in the church or practicing Islam or whatever, and we've gone into African spirituality or Pan-Africanism, or we've just, you know, kind of shunned the religion, and our family struggles to accept that. You know, some of us have very westernized family members, you know, people that have been colonized in their mind. They can't understand why we're choosing Africa. They can't understand. For them, the West is everything. It's the end all be all. Why would you walk away from America? You know, I met so many Caribbean people in the UK that they just worship England. And it's just like, are you serious? You know, this country like destabilized your country. It's the reason that you're here today, because your country is in shambles. The economy is poor, you know, and all of these things as a result of what these foreign countries have done. You know, so sometimes you may have to have that conversation with your family, or just ignore them altogether if they're not supportive with your endeavors. But guess what, guys? You've got to be your number one priority. If you have the wherewithal to see it as it is, and you have the tenacity to go forward, then you need to do that. You never know how you making that first step will be a huge impact to those around you. You know what I mean? Just you doing what you need to do for you and maybe your family, your kids, whatever. It becomes so influential, you know, and it also gives some people courage, because they too want to do it, but they don't want to do it alone, and they don't want to break the ice, and they don't want to step out there. So when they see you doing that, becomes an inspiration to them. You know, I have become an inspiration to a lot of people, and that makes me feel so great inside. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to help you guys make these moves. But at the end of the day, it boils down to you, whether or not you're really going to make that move. What's up, Frank? I see you. Shoshana brings up the mental health crisis in the West. Ingrid from Orlando, big shout outs to you, honey. I see you there. Yes, 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 yes. Shoshana says, I have been annoyed at people in America complaining about the same things year after year. What's up, Ashley in Africa? Wow, I got a celebrity YouTuber stop by to see me. Guys, make sure you check out Ashley in Africa. She has an amazing platform, a lot of, you know, entrepreneur stuff, financial things. She lives in South Africa with her family. And so check her out. All right. Big shout outs. What's up? What's up? Nori says the nobodies, they are so intrusive. They want to know every little thing about what you got going on. It's not necessary. You know, it's not necessary. Sometimes these people, they will literally become obstacles. They will literally try to destroy your plan. Okay. Sometimes you guys are giving them the blueprint because you're telling them every little thing you're doing. They know all your movements. They know your whereabouts. They know, your details. It's not necessary. Okay. Just focus on doing it. They can get to know after it's done. So function on a need to know basis. Who needs to know about this? Do they need to know? If they don't need to know, they don't need to know. And if they're a nobody, and if they're discouraging you, and if they're doing nothing in their life, I can tell you right now, they don't need to know about your strategic moves. They don't need to know. It's going to be more problematic for you if they actually know. Nori says not $1 trillion per year leaving and going to Africa. Yeah, these Western nations want their resources in their country. Okay. They don't want you, making money and then taking it abroad, taking your retirement abroad, taking your, 401k and your savings and your IRA. They don't want that. Okay. They want you, actually what they really want. Hello, let me tell you if you don't know. They want you to work, finance the economy your entire life, die before you can retire so they never have to pay you Social Security or your pension, and not acquire any property, land, or any assets. But if you do have assets, they have lots of ways to still acquire your assets no matter what. That's their plan for you. So that means they're totally going to be adverse to a mass migration to the international community of American passport holders, American taxpayers. They will start to pump the brakes on this when it gets too excessive. And I'm telling you, with the fact that these numbers are reaching records every year, they're exceeding, the previous year's records and stuff. It's just around the corner, guys. You think they can't do that? Well, I would like to bring up a little thing called COVID lockdown. Yeah, where they shut all the international borders. Y'all wasn't going nowhere. I wasn't going nowhere. The borders was shut. Okay. They found a reason to shut the international borders and prevent people from traveling. If they did it before, they can do it again. You say, no, they can't do that. They can do it again. Yes, they can. And if you were smart, you would be trying to not be caught up when they do it again. You would like to say, you know what? I got caught with my pants down during the lockdown. I never entertained a plan B. I didn't have my passport. I didn't know what I was going to do in the middle of it. You've already had that dry run of the drama. All right. You should have learned from that, and you should put in some, type of infrastructure to avoid letting that happen again. All right. I'm almost done with these comments, and then we're moving in. Shout outs to those of you guys that understand what gentrification is. I did explain it for the vast majority of you in the comments that don't know what it means. But big shout outs to those of you that know what it means. What's up, Ghetto Flower? I see you. What's Coach Kiaria? Hi, sweetheart. Big shout outs to you. Shoshana broke it down as well. Gentrification. Rich people move into a place and drive up the price. Ingrid says it's happening in the Caribbean as well. They hate us, yet everywhere we are, they are too. Big shout outs. Tiger says it's happening all over the continent, but they've been owning property. It's not just whites, Arabs, Asians, and Indians too. Absolutely. Non-blacks. We can categorize them as that. They are occupying here on the continent. It's going to increase. They're playing for keeps for their community. We don't quite get it, but they're always playing for keeps for their communities, making provisions, making community, setting up business and school. They're always doing that for their community. That's what they do globally for their communities. They're going to do it here in Africa. But the disadvantage that the diaspora has is we don't have no footing in the West. And if we don't make footing here, we ain't going to have no footing here either. And obviously the Continentals may, I know it's crazy, but they may not understand what's at stake. I mean, I think that kind of comes from decades of oblivion. No media coverage, poor, non-comprehensive education, and limited exposure to these people to know what they're really like and what's really at stake. Because a lot of our people on the continent are going to welcome these folks in thinking that they're friends, thinking that they're generous, thinking that, it's for the betterment of the country. So all of this says that if you are one of the select few, you're one of the chosen people that sees what the hell is going on, please do not allow some nobody to deter you, talk you out of it. Oh, ATM 10, that's just a conspiracy theory. You overthink stuff. You know for a fact what you're saying is factual. It's true. But there's nobody's trying to tell you that, oh no, you're just overreacting. I've saved myself. I want you guys to do well, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to you whether you're going to save yourself or not. I tell you what, when the Titanic go down, I'm not the band playing. Okay. Even if I was performing, I would get my ass on the lifeboat. You feel me? Get a life raft. But realistically, I need to be on the lifeboat because the water that the Titanic got sunk in was frigid. Okay. It got hit by an iceberg. Hello. Which means even if you got a life raft and you in that cold water, you're going to die from hypothermia. All right. So when I see that what's going on, okay, when I see that there's limited lifeboats, guess what, baby? That's my goal. Get the hell on a lifeboat. First get yourself a life raft and then get up on the lifeboat, period. Okay, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh no, this is the greatest ship of all history. It can't sink. God can't sink the Titanic. It has all kind of safety features. No, there's no way. I'm the one who, in the middle of a fire drill, I'm ready to get the hell out the building. And then they're telling me, oh, Gina, it's just a fire drill. Don't worry about it. Me, I'm already heading to the emergency exit. I'm not ready to find out anything. Okay? I'm not ready to find out what's going to happen in America. I'm not ready. They keep talking about those food shortages. I'm not ready to know what that's like. I'm not ready to go to the grocery store and be completely empty. You already saw how the Americans were fighting over toilet paper when they thought there was a toilet paper shortage. What do you think they're going to do when there's a food shortage? What do you think they're going to do when there's rolling blackouts? What do you think they're going to do when there's no jobs, no money? Huh? You know what they're like. They're already crazy and irrational and violent and everything on a day-to-day basis. Add some crisis in there and see how they act. And you want to roll the dice and see if it's really going to happen, even though every day you see that it's getting progressively worse. And you want to talk about, the issues here on the continent. I tell you all the time. And sometimes the problems here, they do get on my nerves, to be honest. Sometimes they do. But I would take them 100% because nothing is without its problems. So that means there's no paradise on earth and all of that. All right. Wherever you go, there's going to be drawbacks. There's going to be pros and cons. But I'm going to go ahead and select this package because I'm mature. Because I practice SMP, our mission statement. Strategy, maturity, and patience. I'm going to weigh up all the benefits of being here against all the benefits of being there, all the cons of being there. And I'm going to make that decision before that decision got to be made for me. And that's why I'm not going down with the Titanic. That's why I'm safely on a lifeboat, waving at you guys, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll never forget you as we are rolling in the lifeboats to safety. Sorry. Save yourself. All right? Don't go down on the shit. Don't be foolish. Don't be narcissistic. Don't see what's going on around you. Don't see a stupid YouTube video that doesn't have all the context and all the details and let that be a determining factor on what you're going to do in your future. Hello. Especially when it comes from a platform of weirdos or haters or people that are like anti-black, anti-African. What in the hell? Big shout outs to Frank. He says, I watched a video, white American living in Ghana saying black Americans should come to Ghana or Africa where you should be respected. Yeah, I saw that was ridiculous. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, you know. Big shout outs, Tony Africa. I see you there. Tiffany's in the building. She says, we are learning the hard way who they really are. And she also says, take care of the life you have been given. Self-preservation is the key. At the end of the day, survival of the fittest. You know, it's why I don't get emotional when people say some of the dumb stuff they say. I realize, hey, you're not fit, so you're not going to survive. Because if you could see these things in the distance coming up, okay, let's say you were driving in your car. Let's say we was all riding with Tiffany. Okay, let's say she got an Escalade or Suburban. Okay, so like, you know, 8, 9 of us can get up in that big old truck. I see in the distance smoke. Okay, I see a little bit of red, hazy, you know, light. Okay. And I realized, oh my gosh, we're in California. This is the area where the wildfires happen. Okay. Imagine seeing that in the distance. Would I say, well, Tiffany, let's get closer to see the wildfire. Let's see what's going to happen. Now, most of us know what happens during wildfires, right? Stuff gets burned up. People die. People inhale the smoke, and they can also be overwhelmed or whatever. It behooves you not to, you're seeing the smoke, you're seeing the red, hazy, whatever. You don't need to get close to the wildfire to know what's happening. We've already been disenfranchised in the West as it is. And we don't need to endure no other kind of crisis. Americans, non-Black Americans, are flocking to the international community. I already did a story on it last year where they said that last year was a record number for Americans requesting their passports and traveling abroad. Why? It's not because they need a holiday, guys. It's not because they need a vacation. They're craving, going to Mykonos or Santorini, or they want to go to the south of France. Nah, that's not what's driving this. And intellect is going to help you connect the dots and say, okay, because I know a lot of you guys think the white tea people love us, right? But the truth is, they're going to make sure this advice I'm giving you, this is how they live. They're going to make sure they secure themselves first. Okay. And we're going to be the last people to know. Okay. So let's say in Tiffany's car, there were some YT girls. They're going to say, hey, Tiffany, you can drop me off at the next stop sign. I left something back home and I'm just going to head back home. I'll catch up with you later. They would let our car keep going up to the wildfire. Maybe we get killed. Maybe we get, overcome, whatever. They don't give a damn. We're going to be the last people to know. And that's what I'm telling you guys. The situation that you're living in is dire. Don't let no stupid people tell you otherwise. Don't let them talk you out of making moves that could save your life, save your lineage, save your legacy, save your family. Don't you dare do it. Because we've seen so many casualties of our people in that environment to know that it's time to change course. All right, I'm trying to wrap up here, guys. Ubiquitous Black says there's plenty of issues all over the world. People's destination may not always be Africa, but I urge all Black Americans to weigh their options of other places they may like to plant their roots. What's up, DC? I just thought about you too. I just thought about you too the other day. So thank you so much for being here. Guys, we had 33 of you, and I hope that the lights is up. At the end of the day, save yourself. Okay? Do not go down on the Titanic. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Okay? Your peers may want to go down or may end up going down, because when the boat goes down, that's not the time to formulate your getaway plan. When you're up on the deck kissing your boyfriend from second class and you see that big ass iceberg, that's not the time to think about the exit strategy. No. The time to think about the exit strategy is right here, right now. And like Ubiquitous Black said, maybe Africa's not your thing. Well, you know, find out where your thing is. Find out what your plan B is. You know, exercise those options. You know, enlighten your mind. It can't be that those of us coming here on YouTube, you know, other diasporans, that we're crazy. It can't be. You know, a lot more of them are talking like me than those in the comments. And we're actually here living on the ground. Even people that are currently in the Gambia with, you know, you guys are fear mongering about all these murder, you know, the murders that have been happening in Gambia. The people in Gambia said, we ain't going nowhere. You know, we, you know, it's not as it seems. That's what they're saying. So if the people in Gambia ain't freaked out, packing up and moving out, what are those of you that have never even been to Africa talking about? All right, guys. Much love to the African Superstar family. Don't forget, you can graciously support the platform, although we are not currently monetized. That information is in the box below. Also, scrolling across your screen. If you guys missed my tour here in Ghana the first week of March, you have another opportunity October 21st through the 27th. Okay, you can come and explore Africa. Come and check out Ghana with me and Mr. Taya Uhuru. We're going to take you around to some of the different cities, show you some of the historical stuff, show you some of the fun stuff, and, you know, give you a glimpse of what it's like here in Ghana. So you won't want to miss that tour. These tours are limited time option, limited time only. I don't know how long I'm going to be operating tours. So if you want one of my tours, you got to get with it. Okay, 100%. Big shout outs. All right, family. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.